county is supposed to be able to regulate how much the people in that county are allowed to grow. The state card usage in California has a base. I believe it's 12 mature, 6 immature, something like that. But if your doctor doesn't think that's enough, he can, like I said, with it's called an exemption. He can designate a number of plants, and he can raise that. So you're not really held to the baseline, and the counties are not allowed to, according to the state, be able to regulate that 12 and 6 any lower than that. So they can let you have more. There was a court case, I think about 3 years ago or so, where the California Supreme Court ruled that the SB 420 didn't really state any numbers in it for how many you could have personally. So they kind of threw out that there really is no limit in California. The only thing we kind of follow is the federal guidelines, which they don't want any more than 99. You know, they still say it's illegal even having 1, but when you start to go over 99, they frown on that. So what we do inside our operation is we use C-trains, 20-footers. We can put, you know, smaller plants. You go a little bit less yield, but you can put about 100 in there. So what we do is we keep that below 100. We keep 99, and then that container has the people that are growing on it. So, you know, and everything's logged and tracked and everything. So that's kind of how we handle that.
So you have different plants for different people that you're growing for them? Is that the way it works?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you might have.
Are you growing indoors or are you growing indoors or out?
Indoors.
Okay.
At the main location.
Okay. Last time I was spent any time in California, there were head shops around. There weren't dispensaries around. I haven't really been back except for a brief visit to breeze through Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
There's
actually quite a few down there.
Yeah, I spent a little time out on Venice Beach, and things were very relaxed, and you know. But what effect have the dispensaries had? How are people reacting to them, and are if the feds are hashing them, how are the local police dealing with them?
For the most part, as long as you have your card and within the guidelines, the police, at least my opinion, the last couple of years in Fresno, Clovis, as long as you're following the rules, they don't seem to really have too much of an issue with it. They've really relaxed on going after people, but they still go after the people doing it on the street and, you know, doing sales that way.
What would you? I mean, you're involved hands-on in this, and and what would you? What progress would you like to see? You know, again, their strategy is divide and conquer. Oh, those are potheads. Oh, they're conspiracy theorists. Oh, they got all kinds of division here. To me, the whole marijuana issue, the hemp issue, ought to be bringing people in this country together. But the media still wants to demonize us. Oh, you're a pothead. Oh, you're this, you're that. But how do we cope with that? What direction should we go in? And I've been into PR and promotions for a long time. I helped start Indian. I've done stories about them, and I see this the idea of the self-sufficient family farm being a wave of the future. And if the farmer, anytime a communist regime takes over a country, they go after farmers first, and I think they did that in 1939 when they made our #1 cash crop somehow illegal here. And what do we do? I mean, what direction would you like to see us go on?
Well, I think pretty much the same one you were just explaining. It's been my observation over the last, 10 years or so. If I had to make a guess at how many people actually took marijuana, either medically or just for their own enjoyment, I would say I'd guess that probably 50% of the population does it. And I find it kind of funny that there's such a stigma on it, And I think the people that do participate in it need to get together and get more organized and let the powers that be know that they want it legal. They want it to have better access to it.
Well, that's exactly what we're calling about with the Free American right now, and that's what the website's about. How many people die of smoking marijuana? At least 50 a year die from aspirin. How many die from smoking marijuana?
I don't think there's ever been a case where they've been able to prove that happened. But I think you had to consume, I'm afraid of some unreal numbers, like 400 pounds of it or something within a 8-hour period in order to actually overdose on it or something. So, yeah, the risk of dying, I think, is pretty minimal.
What do you have any information on what was happening to the farmers along the Central Valley there? I heard they were cutting some of their water off, things like that. Have the farmers been having problems there? And are you having any kind of noticeable results from the radiation supposedly blowing over from Japan?
Radiation-wise, no, I haven't heard. That's not a very big topic around the valley. Water always is. This year we've been pretty good on water. The main issue stems from a lot of the water in the valley is bought or has been sold to LA. So they actually gets taken out of the valley and shipped down the central valley and pumped up and over the hills and down into LA. And that's where, on years that the rainfall is short, that's when they start to have issues. And they'll, at that point, regulate how much water the farmers can use. And so then they have to make a decision whether to grow that year or not grow. And that those are kind of the issues.
Okay, let's see here. No questions there. Let me see if I've got anybody asking questions. About the 420 Club here. Now, you've got a location. Do you have you want to give that location out? And
yeah, we can. It's 3269 East North Avenue in Fresno County, and the zip is 93725.
okay, somebody's asking on the chat room, what strains do you grow, or what strains would you recommend someone grow?
That's kind of a hard question. It kind of depends on the person's taste, actually. I personally, kind of like sativas. I know there's a lot of people like the purple. Blue Dream's a real good one. I like that one. It's pretty hardy. It's good for somebody that's just starting out. It's it's disease-free, pretty hardy, and has a pretty good yield to it. It's a fairly easy plant to grow.
Now, if you're going into a dispensary, if you've got a prescription, what's the price range? What's it going for? Are there certain strains that they get more for? Is it what's it like? Describe it for me.
It depends on the strains, and it also depends on quality. It ranges anywhere from $5 to, I've seen it as high as $25 a gram. And again, a lot of that was based on the quality of it. And
you understand. I mean, I'm coming from an era of three-fingered lids, right? But do the growers have contests to see who can grow the most potent or the most flavorful? What's it like? I mean, I've just kind of always been on the receiving end of it, and now I'm promoting people growing their own gardens, and but tell me.
No, that actually happens quite a bit in California now. There's quite a few little cannabis cups we've actually got a big one down in LA every year, and they've got one in Fresno every year. That one's not quite as big, but yeah, there's some competition to see who grows the best, and they get whoever gets voted the best gets bragging rights for that year.
And they're having meetings or events where the medical prescription holders can get together and smoke together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where is that happening? Where is that going on?
It happens in Fresno and most of the larger cities. You can find them. It's becoming more and more common.
Are there any publications going around to educate people about this culture and this product and this and God, all of the uses of it? I mean, you could do an encyclopedia on all the uses of hemp alone.
No, there is quite a bit of information. Actually, the last time I went down and renewed my state card, they had quite a bit down at the Fresno County Health Department. They had quite a bit of information on meetings and stuff like that were occurring on a weekly basis. So yeah, there is quite a bit of information available.
Okay, what exactly? We've got listeners here, and if they're in California or in the Fresno area, they can stop in and visit you, right?
Yes, you'd have to have a...
If you don't have your medical marijuana license, do you have people that you can refer them to, doctors that you can refer them to, that will treat them right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a growers organization besides the 420 Club here?
No.
You're it then. You're the organization for the growers then. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would probably say that there hasn't been any organization that dealt more with the farmer side of it, and that's something that we've been looking at. And that was also another issue that the sheriff and the county brought up was the way the current dispensaries operate. They buy their products from typically local growers and stuff, but they don't keep any records as to, about the transaction, where they're located, and all that kind of stuff. And so they wanted to implement that, and part of the reasoning behind that was so they could track it, because there's been a little bit of concern over the quality of medical marijuana, and also of issues like, if it had bugs or something like that, were people spraying it with pesticides and that kind of stuff. So what they were trying to do is get a little bit better control over it, so that you didn't have somebody spraying it, the last week in flour and get people sick. That was also went on with the edibles. There's been a lot of that is made in residential kitchens where there's no health department hasn't inspected them. So they were trying to push not have edibles at the dispensaries in Fresno. And I think they're in these new regulations that are coming out. I think they address that issue and require that if you have edibles, that they have to be done in a commercial kitchen. So a lot of it's just health and safety kind of issues.
Do you have like a catalog of the strains that you grow or that you have available?
We will. We're not open yet. We're supposed to open tomorrow, and we're currently setting up a website now that that'll all be listed on it as to what we have in stock and what's available.
Will you be able to sell out of state?
I don't know. I haven't researched that yet. I know in the realm of deliveries, there's not a whole lot of it's kind of a new arena, so there's not a whole lot of information on that. There's not really a whole lot of rules, and how it works in America.
If I rode over to California, if I rode over to Fresno and visited one of the doctors there and got a script and drove back to Arizona where medical marijuana is now legal, would I have any problems?
I couldn't tell you on that. That's, like I said, that's a whole new thing that's occurring, and we've kind of looked into it, but at least my interpretation of it, as soon as you cross a state line, then you, it appears you become, I don't want to say guilty, but
federal fugitive.
Yeah, that state line thing, and then it turns kind of into a federal deal. So, I try to stay away from that.
What other information do we need? I mean, this seems to be operating right well. And by the way, if you need any marketing, or need a magazine or newspaper to go out, I would recommend the Free American, because that's all we really. I mean, we deal with a lot of different issues, but we deal with the legalization of pot. Matter of fact, that's what my next novel is about abolishing all victimless crimes. I started writing that about 40 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, if you get rid of that helmet law, man, I'd be over there in a heartbeat working with you. But if there's any way I can help here, I certainly will. And
okay, yeah,
I'd like to have you back on my my show.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
Fairly regular basis, and I usually, I've done Hemp Wednesdays. Again, let's give out your Facebook location, any information that you'd like to give out. We just got a couple of minutes left here.
Sure. You can Facebook. You can get. It'll be. I put it under. I think it's 420 Club - Brian Doyle. And then we've got an email also that you can get us, and that is club420@live.com. And then from there you can get a hold of us.
And your grand opening again, when?
We're going to do a light opening probably tomorrow, and probably a month after that we'll do a grand opening.
All right. Let me
start doing some stuff with the media. And do some. I feel there's a big need for education and letting people that don't smoke know about the situations that us people that do are, kind of let them know how the other half lives, put it simply.
All right. It looks like we're just about out of time, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being on the show, Brian, and we'll get you back. Thank you very much.
All right. All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right. Folks, I just want to tell you, the whole idea of Liberty Villages, I've got it up right now. I've got it up, and I'm starting on this. I got started. They started demonizing me after I started revealing the drug connections. I used to ask myself, why would they be so down on an old biker from Texas? The forces that are aligned against the people of the world use proven techniques to keep us as debt slaves. As Henry Ford said, if Americans understood their banking system, there'd be a revolution overnight. Divide and conquer is the oldest strategy in warfare, and the media uses it to full advantage. Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, Muslim, Christian, Jew, the money changers have taken over the banking for the religion. Churches are 501c3 government controlled. That's why my book, Mystery Babylon, dwells on the latest created villain Christian identity. But more than the fact that I exposed the Jewish connection of 9/11 to our drug supply and to their creation of vaccines and GMO food as a weapon, the fact is that I plan for the creation of Liberty Villages as an immediate solution to the whole New World Order plan for global communism. This plan is viable, makes sense, and is very doable. It's like building an ark in your country, in your county, to act as a life raft if everything falls apart in this country. It also prevents a comfortable, safe environment for your family and friends. To put it simply, if you grow your own food and generate your own power from wind or sun, you do not need the government or banksters. The government knows this, the banksters know this, and that's why shortly after I put Liberty Villages in the centerfold of my magazine, NAIS pops up. Meters on wells were implemented. S510 passed to allow the government to inspect and control that garden in your backyard. Here is the latest installment of their plan to create a rural control. Think of your garden or rural whole food co-op being regulated as a 501c3 or an extension of the government control of your food supply. This is the government's response to the threat against their power and control presented by my Liberty Village concept. This 510 and NAS show you why Clay Douglas is such a threat to the government of the banksters. They're moving to control the rural villages before they're established. This is a race for freedom. And what it says is Obama says 16% of the American population lives in rural counties. Strong, sustainable rural communities are essential to winning the future and ensuring American competitiveness in the years ahead. These communities supply our food, fiber, and energy, safeguard our national resources, and are essential in the development of science and innovation. Though rural communities face numerous challenges, they also present enormous economic potential. The federal government has an important role to play in order to expand access to capital necessary for economic growth, promote innovation, improve access to healthcare and education, expand outdoor recreational activities. To enhance the federal government's efforts to address the needs of rural America, this order establishes a council to better coordinate federal programs and maximize the impact of federal investment. Can you say Agenda 21 and fusion centers? This is federal control. They are trying to stop what I've started here before I do it. Okay, freeamerican.com is my website. All of the videos will be up there. All of the information will be up there. All the videos have been up there. We need to sell some books. We need to put the Liberty Villages together. And I'm proposing that we do it right now. I need investors. This is not a quick get-rich-quick scheme. This is an opportunity for individuals. This would be structured like an investment club, except for 10% operating and advertising expenses. The money will go into a trust, probably with the only honest attorney who's not afraid of the ADL and SPLC. That's Donna Taylor and Edgar Steele's champion, Wesley Hoyt. Each Liberty Village would be a covenant community set up as a tenancy in common. Each village would welcome homeless vets who would work for room and board. Liberty Village script would be issued along the lines of Ithaca hours, a 1 hour work on 1 hour's pay, set at the equivalent of $10 Federal Reserve notes, a refined barter system. This is not about making money for Clay Douglas. It's about supporting and using the magazine products, websites, and radio shows I've created in a mutually beneficial project. It is about providing information to everyone who participates. The books of this private club called Liberty Villages will be open to all members. Investments will go into hard products for resale, to rent, or for property. It'll be structured as a co-op. Members will buy wholesale plus 10%